Hello to everybody here in the audience and hello to everybody at home. We have as our guest today an extremely talented and very, very versatile actor, somebody you all know very well, Timothy West.
And for the food, we're going to do for you two very simple dishes. One is a crustless quiche, which has an Italian variation, and the other one's a very simple meatloaf filled with ham and cheese. Now we'll start with the meatloaf because we've actually naturally had to cook one before because it takes about an hour and a half to cook. And we're using 750 grams of mince, which is about a pound and just over £1.75 of mince, and that's fresh mince. If you want to, and you get any at home that's like in lumps, break it up first because you're going to need to, because you're going to add some other things to it. So while I just get the little lumps out of this, Peter will get me the next ingredient.
We're going to do, I've learned something too, one does not eat an onion sandwich before coming on. I'm having it twice. We're just going to put in here, I hope,
Drop it through
4
the feed
slices
tube,
of...
quick and easy.
Are you joking?
We'll take the thing off the top there.
Look, I know how to do it all, don't worry, just leave me alone, and I've turned it on. 4 slices of bread with crust removed to make breadcrumbs. Stale bread is much better.
That'll do, Pete, because it's going to have liquids in it anyway.
Oh, right.
Now, the thing is...
You're joking. When you see these? Good, are they?
I don't know what you did then. Actually, you need stale bread, 2 thick slices, or also you can use... Now, if you want to, if you're on a health kick, right, use then wholemeal bread, or stone ground bread, any brown breads like that, or even rye bread's very good in this particular dish. Just mix those together. Anyway, while I continue putting all these little bits that you didn't get in here, you can do the rest of it.
We'll tell you that we're actually giving you the principle of the dish, but we are. But what we're going to do now, we're going to add in here the ingredients to bind and flavour this meatloaf that Dave was making. It gives you lovely indigestion too.
It does not.
Now, I've done here 1 onion, which I've finely minced. Goes in here like that. About a 1/4 teaspoon of dry mustard. Doesn't matter, we don't go too mad on the accurate measurements here. About a teaspoon of sage, or a fraction more if you like, or mixed herbs you would like. 2 cups of milk, like such. A cup, I beg your pardon. That's the next one. About a quarter... Thank you so much for your help. A 1/4 teaspoon of... Would you mind? It is my bit.
Oh, sorry.
A 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And then I'm sure I forgot... Oh, I always forget the garlic. I'm using fresh garlic here put into a tube. Well, it can't be fresh, can it? But to get the actual oils out of it, because that makes it slightly more stinky and aromatic. And finally, about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce.
Tablespoon?
Oh, sorry, I was talking.
Tablespoon.
You said work and talk at the same time. So these are just mixed together like this, and they go into David's loaf.
Now, one thing that you must be very careful of. If you're buying fresh mince at all, make sure when you get it home you use it as quickly as possible because it goes off very quickly. Now, the only ones that don't go off and can stay in the fridge for a little while are ones that have got preservatives in. But you really don't want that. You really want to get fresh meat from the butcher, or fresh minced meat. So anyway, that's all just mixed together like so. And then it looks a bit sloppy, but it does firm up.
But it's meant to. So we're going to
put
half
half
of this into a tin.
There's the pound and a half
This
tin.
is my
Well,
bit.
I've got this lump here. I've got to get rid of it.
Pop that in. So that's just half. Put that out round the tin like this. Make sure it's packed down well, because remember, you are making a loaf in actual fact.
Now, our gallant guest is going to help us do the rest.
Because there's a lot to do, and we're very hopeless where he is.
A warm welcome to Timothy West.
Can you tell if I'm going to jacket
Absolutely, yes.
Timothy, it's lovely to have you on our show.
Very nice to be here.
I thought you might like this in case you get slopped
all over.
Perhaps
I better have, yes.
A lot of these things actually are for you, because you've got a wonderful barge, haven't you? A canal barge.
That's right, yes.
And these are things you can do in a small space.
Oh, that's lovely.
And before you go away.
Yes, no, we like cooking on the barge, because although there's less space, there are fewer interruptions.
That's true. And also you've got that lovely big finger bowl outside.
That's right. Just try your hand.
Where do you travel?
Anywhere at all.
Marvellous.
We just
So
get to
interesting.
where we get to, tie it up, leave it, and pick it up next place.
Oh, how
I've
lovely.
only been broken into once, and whoever it was came in, unscrewed the lock, drank half a bottle of whiskey, washed up the glasses, and locked up after him. That's a nice boy.
That's what I call a civilised thief. Now, Timothy, I want you to do the middle.
Right.
Now, I've got 4. What we've got to do is roll the ham and the cheese up together.
Yes.
And if you like to use your hands, put your ham out first. There's 4 slices of ham there. And overlap it. Doesn't matter if it breaks a bit.
Yeah, right.
And just overlap it into 4. Now, I've got to warn you, you've got to try and get it about the same level or length as that tin, because it's going to be that long, right?
I'll do my best.
Going up a bit, you are. Down a
Am
bit.
I? Right.
Up
Yep.
a bit.
Shift the tin so that everybody can see.
Right, sure.
Now, 4 slices of cheese go on that across it.
See, I'm married to a very good cook, so I don't normally get further than doing an omelette, but try.
Never mind. Here
Is that going to be all right?
Yes.
Be able to
If it breaks up, it doesn't matter.
No, it's all
no,
good.
up this
What?
end.
What? Oh, yes.
Spread it along.
Spread it a lot. Dear, oh dear.
Wonderful actor.
Hopeless.
But he admits
Oh,
this.
dear,
Well,
there we
you'll
are.
be able to do this. You'll go and put it. She'll
Right.
say, "Aren't you wonderful, Timothy?"
wonderful.
She'll say.
Well,
Now roll
cut
that
that
up.
bit. Roll it up
If
this
you
way.
want to do it that way, you can.
What were you going to do?
Well, that way.
This
See,
way,
it's
right?
got to be the length
Well,
of
a
the
bit too
tin.
long then, won't it?
Well, it's okay. You
That's
can
right,
poke in
okay.
the ends.
Right, sure, poking in the ends. I
Good
see.
boy. Now, can you get that on here?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go. Lovely.
There you go.
Lovely.
Tuck the ends in a bit.
Wonderful. We'll give you another practice run.
Right.
Now listen, this one's
yes.
different. Now we were saying
That's
earlier
easy.
that you can do salami. This is ham and Gruyere
Yes,
cheese.
yes.
Now you can do salami if you put 4 salamis out, or your 4 cheeses, whichever you want to do.
Right.
And use cheese. Then in the mixture of this, the meat mixture, you would put something like oregano and basil.
Yes.
And do some grated lemon rind, a bit more garlic, and you get more Italianated
Oh,
type of
yes,
flavour.
lovely, lovely.
So while you're doing that, I'll just, if you can do that, just as a little practice run, so that when you get home you know what to do.
That's it, right.
And I'll just
I
put
don't
the rest
think he
of the meat
will,
on
you
here.
know.
Why?
You're still doing it wrong.
Have a look.
He knows the
I
prince.
don't know what this cheese is made of.
Rubber.
Where'd you get it? We'll do with 3. We'll go with 3.
All right, go with 3.
Right.
But it is easy, isn't it?
Oh,
Put it back
yes.
on it. Forget
There
it,
we are.
forget
That's
it, Timothy, forget it.
There, where do you want to put this one?
We're not going to really use it.
I'll
Put it
use
on
it
the
later,
plate.
right, fine.
Give it to the dog later or the
Can you
cat.
see the idea?
See the principle. Now, hang on, now what you do is then, with the rest of this meat, you pack it all down like that. And then we're going to bake it. And before we do that, Peter's got a tin there. Just tack that down. Now, you need the tin for a reason.
Can I have that, please, Timothy?
Yes,
And I've
indeed.
got a baking dish here. And thank you very much, Timothy. I'm putting this into a baking dish like this, which I should have actually lined with tin foil. And the reason is we're not cooking this en bain-marie, which is the water which you normally put around here to poach. We're roasting this, but this is so that it will definitely boil up and spill juices over, and it's to save your oven being absolutely filthy dirty. So this would go in an oven normally right in the centre here, but we've got things in here already, and it would cook at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius, or gas Mark 4 for 1.5 hours. And that's all you have to do with it.
How kind, how brilliant.
Sounds so easy, doesn't it?
Now, this is really a dish that you can do on the yacht.
Do it on the yacht too, yes.
Oh, he's got a yacht as well.
No.
Oh, that's all right then. I thought there must be money made in this acting lot.
No fear.
The thing is that what we do, if you were making it in a small space and you're making a quiche, you've got to roll out all the pastry, and you've got to have that and put it in a thing, and you've got to mix all that. But this, you really need only 2 bowls. So I'm going to give you now 3/4 cup of plain flour and some salt. I want you to sift that in there if you don't mind. Thank you. A little bit of pepper in there as well while you're sifting that through. I've been quiet, isn't it? They'll all be making
Soothing
this tomorrow, I'll
sound.
tell you. All right, now what I want to do now is to add to that about 1.5 ounces of butter, which you just rub in. I'll do that. I was going to say softened butter, but you don't need to, do you?
It's often, isn't it?
I'll rub it in first. There. You don't have to even bother, just mix it all together. Wonderful, thank you. Now we've got some eggs and that here as well.
Now, Timothy, I'm sorry to keep... I'll take, because it says here mixed milk and eggs.
Yes,
you see.
we'll take that out.
I have a very bad memory. If you give me 4
How many?
eggs
4?
in there, please, I'll give you a whisk.
Really?
Yes, if you
Okay,
like.
yeah.
I tell you what, would you like to do what I always do? Throw them over your shoulder.
Right.
Marvellous. Is that
Oh, isn't it terrific? Yeah.
lovely feeling? Lovely.
Over my shoulder goes one shell.
Three. That's a lovely free feeling. Now, if you just lightly whisk, I'll get you something.
That's
just
all right.
Lightly whisk that for me, please. And then that's for you, Frau. And we're just going to add into here 2 cups of milk. Timothy, you don't drink milk at all, do you?
No, it's the only thing I don't drink,
eat,
I think.
Do you eat it in dishes or not?
Yes, I've got no sort of chemical aversion to it at all. I just hate the idea of drinking it. I don't know why. Something must have happened to me in childhood, I don't know what.
Cows stood on it, perhaps.
Perhaps so, yes.
I can think of something, but I'm not going to say it.
Besides that...
Well, let me go here.
Right.
Now,
There we go.
I'm also putting in here now a half a cup of bran. Now this gives
that's
it
original.
makes it really healthy.
Yeah.
Also too with this, you could do this with wholemeal flour too. So if you mix that into there, please, and just whisk it around. I'll take the bowl for you. Give it a quick whisk. This normally takes at home about 2 minutes.
Hardly any eggshell in that at all, is there?
No, I couldn't see any. Now I'm going to take the whisk because if you whisk the cheese and it all gets caught in the whisk.
Oh,
There's
yes, right.
7 ounces, which is about 200 grams of cheddar cheese. You mix that together. So simple. And I've greased a flan dish. Now, if you're using a flan dish like this, it's a fairly wide one and fairly shallow, or you can use, which we've used for the ones that we've pre-cooked, slightly narrower, but of course naturally deeper. So just pour that in there. That's all you need to do. You don't have to mix it anymore.
All right.
Yep. And then scrape all the bits and pieces in. Look at the beautiful action there. Beautifully done.
Oh, yes.
Beautifully done. And perhaps you wouldn't mind taking over and telling the
Magic
people,
of television.
telling the people at what temperature and
Yes, of course.
how we cook it.
Of
This will be
course.
interesting.
Yes. Well, I would say at about, well, for half an hour at oven mark 3, and probably 325 degrees Fahrenheit. 160 centigrade. That's for next week.
Would you perhaps like to open some wine for us? I'm a bit thirsty.
yes.
There's some wines in the rack there.
Certainly. What
And
would
some
you like, red or
glasses there.
white?
I think a red, don't you?
Yes,
Because I'm just going to make an alternative, it says here. And my memory lasts me about that long. But we're going to do exactly the same as David and Timothy did. The start off at the base of that quiche, because it is terribly easy to do. So that's the 3/4 of a cup of flour and the 1.5 ounces of butter. Oh, it came out, which you put through. I love doing this bit. So we're just doing... Don't forget my eggs and things that I've got to have done. So we're just getting that through, like that, rubbing it. I've got more time to do it. But as I say, this is a very, very simple quiche and one that is readily done, but we're going to do this one more on the Italian side. We're going to use salamis and things when I get my hands all cleaned up. Where's my drink?
It's coming, it's coming.
Over here. Very slow, isn't it? It wouldn't make good butter at all. So we've
Took
got...
years to do that, you know, with one hand.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Lovely, Timothy. Your good health.
Thank you,
Good
Timothy.
health. Your good health.
What did
Your
you
body.
choose in the end? The selection.
It's a Saint-Emilion.
I love that.
Grand
Oh,
Cru,
excellent.
1982.
Go to the
Lovely,
best.
lovely, lovely.
Go down
Yeah.
a treat with quiche.
Your good health.
Now, there you are. Thank you, that page front. It's another 4 eggs and 2 cups of milk.
Lovely.
And you can add that together as well.
So that's the flour and the butter, which we've crumbed there like that. We just want to do this again so that you can remember this one, because it is so simple and it's worthwhile doing. So that's that basis that Timothy so kindly did for us before. Now I'm adding into this 6 ounces of cheddar cheese, which is I've finely grated like that, as you can see. That goes in. And you'd be as rough as ready as you like with this. I'm using a 1/4 cup of finely grated Parmesan cheese. Parmesan, actually. I forgot to put my bran in, but it doesn't matter. This is the thing. If you do it the wrong way around, don't worry. Throw the bran in as well, like that. And finally, I'm adding a little oregano. You can use a little basil as well as you like, because it has a nice flavour. In fact, I will, because it has a great affinity with tomatoes and salami, which I'm going to use later on. I've cut up here a cup of salami into fairly fine cubes, as you can see, like that. That goes in. This is fun to make, because you just throw it all in. And finally,
I said
here,
1 bowl, you've got about 9.
Yes, I know, but this is only just to show everybody, so it's very clear. If
Yes,
you don't
right,
mind,
Peter.
keep your mouth shut, it's my camera. And finally here, I've done about 10 black olives, which I've taken the pips out and cut in half, just to stretch them out. And then simply with this, it's mixed all round. As I say, if you've forgotten to put the bran in the correct order, it doesn't matter. You're just making this lovely melange, is the word I think I really want. And I have here a grease dish. And you just simply tip all this. I'll show you in a moment. It's a great big bowl of slop, but it does work. You will see the end result later on like that. So that's that. Now that would go in the oven, as I said again, centre of the oven, and cooked at the temperature that exactly Timothy told you about.
Which
I've forgotten.
Which was?
Well, it's... everybody knows that.
I think I can even remember 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
160 degrees Celsius, and gas mark?
3.
4.
No, just while it's doing the other things cooking that, I wanted to ask you, you know, you go round and I read somewhere that you have a look at railway lines.
Old railway lines,
Old
yes.
railway lines.
Yes.
Do you
Mad,
deliberately
isn't
set
it?
out? Yeah, I know, but why? Tell us why.
I don't know,
it sounds intriguing as a hobby.
I've always loved railways, and I like exploring, particularly lines that are being closed, you know, and even taken up. They make nice walks, apart from everything else.
Are there many in this country?
Yes, far more than there should be.
Yeah.
I mean, there ought to be more open railways.
I've been intrigued having seen you as Churchill in the past. Did you have to really study for that? I know it's a fair while ago now, but what did you do with research? Peter was saying, you wonder what you did in research for that.
Well, quite a bit, because there's so many people who remember him, you know. So you've got to get it a bit right. But you can't go overboard with an imitation. I mean, you can't do a sort of complete Mike Yarwood for 3 hours, because that would be silly. You just have to give an impression of a character, and then do it yourself, you know, because otherwise it's just a sort of imitation, which would be boring, I think.
It must have been very interesting to study and
very interesting to talk to all the people who knew him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now that we're doing these 2 quiches for your meatloaf, what's your favourite food?
Oh, quiche's meatloaf.
Fish.
Of course.
Wonderful gift. Now this is cold, Timothy. I did this earlier.
Yes.
So I'll just get some. And now, because it's cold, we're just going to serve a couple of slices with some lettuce and tomato.
Yes.
And if it was served hot, we could actually do it with, say, mashed potatoes and vegetables. Now, all you need to do, there's the one there that we've done previously, is cut that all the way around like that. Just loosen it at the end. It does shrink, and as Peter said, it does sometimes come out of the tin, you know, the juices. That's why you put one underneath.
Yes.
Turn it into here.
Yes.
Better you than I.
Oh,
Thank goodness it's got grips on it. Enough, sister!
There you go.
Got it?
Yep.
Cut that bit down. Hold your hands on that bit. Look at that.
Gosh, it does smell very good.
It smells delicious, doesn't it? Now, what I'd like you to do, please, is cut for me a couple of slices, but come in because I want people to see what's happening in the centre of it. We'll go to the middle if you like.
Go to the middle.
Cut couple of nice thickish slices. You put your hand on it because it's easier. Hands are maybe for anything else.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. It's nice.
Looks
Very
solid.
It is.
Yes, it's solid, but it's not too jellified. It's very nice.
And most of any of that
Use
juice
your
is
foot.
gone.
Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yep. Oop. That was nearly right. Oh, yes.
Do another one there. Do
Another
another
one
side,
there,
then we
then
can
we'll
cover
have
that bit up.
That's a
That's much
stupid knife to
easier.
use.
Not the
Got it?
best knife. Yep.
All right.
That's it.
Got it? Lovely.
There, yes. Oh, yes,
As
you can see the roll
I'll
thing
show
in
you.
the
I'll
middle,
take
yeah.
that out there. Can you see that there? There's the one. That was ham and Gruyere cheese in the centre. And as I say, if you do it with like Italian salami and some different types of cheeses and then put other flavours of herbs in, it's also very, very good when it's really cold, done it very thinly,
Yes, I can imagine.
to do in sandwiches.
Yeah.
Have you got the quiche?
Yes.
Good.
Now, this is the first quiche. This is the plain cheese that David did. It's not that tough. I'm just going to make sure it comes up. You can see that's risen. In a dish like that, it's risen very well, and how easily that was easy to prepare, I should say. You just get this out. It's like gum. That's one. It's very solid is the word I think you use. And this is the one I did, the Italian version. And what I'm going to do with this, just to finish this off, is put some salami on the top. Really, I'm making like a quiche, a strange sort of quiche Italian type pizza. But just some tomatoes, some extra, what do you think, anchovies, because I love these. So I'm using the stripped anchovy. I'm never going to get these. I'm going to smell like an old polecat. And just lay these. Well, I love them. They're so beautiful. They're lovely and salty.
Can I ask a question
if you
of the
don't,
audience?
no, you can't for the moment. If, by the way, when you're using anchovies, you don't like them terribly salty, take them out, drain them of their oil, put them in a bowl, and cover them with milk and leave them for several hours, and that takes that very, very salty taste off it. And finally, here with these, I'm just putting some, if I can get them on, black olives. Oh, difficult little things to catch. And then just, I mean, I would do that a little more decoratively than that, but I'll just cut this for you to see the texture.
This is the reason why we had cold meatloaf. If we'd done that hot, by the time we'd done this, it would have been stone cold anyway.
Well, they're all sticking on. I wouldn't do this like this
What
at
I
home.
was
I'd do
going to
it
say
in
to
the
you,
kitchen.
how many times in a year do any of you make things like a quiche or meatloaf? Frequently?
Yes.
The lady, did you want to ask a question, madam? 3 times a year, right. And
But
what about
that's the
because with
textures.
children, it's a very economical dish. And remember, because it's got a lot of cheese in and bran and wholemeal flour, it's very, very good for them. And also, too, it's very, as I say, it's very healthy.
And if you've got somebody
very
at
good
home with a
cheese.
mouth hung in the middle like his, this is an excellent meal. But don't cook it. It jams his gob up. So anyhow, would you like to come into dinner?
If you like to take the
shall I take?
meatloaf, you take that,
yes.
because you know, did all the middles, and I'll take the quiche.
Right.
You can
Follow
go.
after you, Timothy.
Thank you.
It does smell nice. Solid. This is what you call solid food.
Should we eat in our aprons?
Yes,
Oh, yes,
right.
why not?
My friends.
I know we've got aprons on, but still, never mind. So there,
Yeah.
Timothy, just as, I know we keep going on about this, but it's very simple. This is the salami and the anchovies and the black olives and everything. They could be varied in all sorts of ways.
And your meatloaf, which is you did a wonderful job of rolling it up. I mean, yours would have come out exactly the same.
Well, I don't think it would, actually.
Yeah, it's
but,
very
that
picturesque.
one-
I'll tempt you, but and then just the basic quiche,
delicious.
which starts it off. And as I say, you can turn it into a Greek type by doing feta cheese and olives and that sort of thing, which is rather nice.
But we also, too, Timothy, like to explain to our viewers at home and in the audience the sort of wines we drink. This one you've chosen a very nice, quite heavy red, because this is very savoury
Yes,
food.
it's got a bit of body to it.
But
yeah.
we just hope these things have helped. That's our attitude to all this, that they'll help people and just make cooking more easy and more fun.
Yes.
But I'm really glad you came on, because after all the years of seeing you and what you've done, which I think you are a very brilliant actor, it's my pleasure to meet you.
And
thank
you,
very much
Well,
for
Timothy,
taking the
very
time.
much to continuing
lovely.
success, great friendship. And to everybody here in our audience, to everybody at home, God bless you. We'll see you soon.
again.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Now
Now we can start. I couldn't wait.
I know. I like the stuff. It's not so good cold. But it is nice with the brown. Would you like to try it off?
Yes, I can't do that too, yes. Oh, not all that much.
Very good to say. Actually, that one's better warm, I think, than it is cold.
Yes, we had to make it early.
Yes, it might be a little bit.
Yes, one, but it's
very, very good.
slightly more.
Brand makes a difference, doesn't it?
That's right. If you make it with wholemeal bread, that's really good.
That's where the worst